everybody, it's Ellen here. Welcome back to a new reading vlog. For this reading vlog, I feel like I've gone a little bit crazy because I feel like this will be a big undertask. Because this time I'm going to try to read 30 books in 30 days. And I'm going to attempt to start this challenge while there's a Swedish holiday. So I will be busy trying to be, social and stuff with my family, so that's good planning. But I did have sort of a schedule to hold because can't do it any later. And I'm on vacation now officially, so let's do this. The very first book I'm going to attempt to read is going to be Spy Family, volume 1. The premise really intrigues me. So basically this is about a spy, and he has to go undercover, and to be able to do so he actually has to have a kid and a wife, so he gets one of each. What he doesn't know is that the kid is a telepath and his wife is an assassin, and that will call for a lot of exciting intrigue, I'm sure. Yeah, that's the first book I'm gonna read, and then after that the plan is to pick up Amal Unbound by Aisha Said, which is also a very short book. So I feel like to start it all off with a manga that will hopefully be a quick read, even though I won't have a lot of reading time, and then move on to this one. I feel like would be a great move. And this is really short because it's like 226 pages, so that will be a quick read hopefully, and it's also middle grade, which will also help the reading pace. But in this one we meet 12-year-old Amal, and she dreams of becoming a teacher. She really looks up to her own teacher and she wants to learn from her and, practice the craft, if you will. But then something unfortunate happens. She actually gets into this sort of quarrel with the son of the village corrupt landlord, and she gets into a lot of trouble. And to be able to get her own family out of it, she actually has to move into his estate and become his mother's sort of servant in order to pay off the death of her family. And yeah, while there she realizes she has to find a way to work with others to bring about change and to achieve her dreams. So I've had this on my TBR for years. I've owned it for years. So I really feel like it's time to read it. And also it looks so pretty. And I think it's supposed to take place in Pakistan. So always love to have a different setting. So yeah. I didn't have the time to update you guys because I finished my first book yesterday. So one book in 2 days. This is Spy Family by Tatsuya Endo, and I think I described what it was about in the earlier clips. But yeah, basically he has to go undercover and find a wife and a child, and I really enjoyed this one actually. I feel like I read it very slowly because I was just really intrigued by the illustrations and the pictures and stuff, but I really did like the characters, like all 3 of them. There was a lot of action, a lot of drama, a little bit like of obsession with a toupee, which was really, really weird, but kind of funny in a way, I suppose. But yeah, all of the characters are very kick-ass and interesting and intriguing in their own way, and I feel like they definitely bring the story forward. So yeah, I really enjoyed this one, and I definitely think I will continue on with the series, which is something I don't say very often when it comes to manga, because I have a hard time finding the kind of manga that I like. But yeah, I ended up giving this manga 4.5 out of 5 stars. So it is day 3. I'm on my second book, so I'm already behind, but it's fine because I'm reading a really short book. It's like 230 pages, but this is Amal Unbound by Aisha Said. This is the second book that I chose I would read, and then I have like no set TBR. But I'm about one page 141, so like more than halfway through, and I'm really enjoying it actually. This has been on my TBR for forever, so maybe that's why I'm surprised I'm enjoying it. Should have picked it up a lot sooner. But yeah, basically Amal has started working for this really rich family, and I mean obviously she is missing her home, her family, her friends, and going to school, because going to school is like her big passion since she wants to become a teacher, and she's really struggling to fit into this new dynamic that she has, and you know, being someone's servant and getting punished for every little mistake she makes, and people tricking her into doing shit she's not supposed to do and stuff like that. But it's a really quick read. I really like Amal as a character. I did like her family dynamics as well, and we definitely have some really interesting characters in the new household where she works. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it so far, but I'll give you a more updated version of my thoughts when I have finished it, which I hope to be able to do today, because like I said, it's book 2 day 3, so I'm already behind. So sorry for the terrible light, but I'm too lazy to put on the ceiling lights. But I just finished Amal Unbound by Shahzaid, and I'm really happy to say that I flew through this one. I really enjoyed it, and I don't know if I have that many more opinions than last time I updated you, but I really like the sort of friendship and connections she made with the other servants at this estate. There was definitely some interesting intrigues, a little bit of drama, but I do feel like the resolve of everything was done very quickly, because it all sort of wrapped up in the last 20 pages, and I felt like that was way too fast, and I would have liked more details and stuff about it. So yeah, I wish it would have been longer, to be honest, if not for this challenge, but still. So yeah, I think I'm gonna give this book 4 out of 5 stars, and I've already actually picked up my third book since it is the third day. My goal is to finish 30 books in 30 days, not to read a book a day, because obviously I would have already filled up that. But I've decided to sort of split this vlog into 3 parts, so each part is about 10 days, because otherwise this would be the longest vlog ever. So this is going to be part 1, but the book I picked up after that was Hurricane Child by Kacey Callender, which is another middle grade book. And it's also really short. It's about 210 pages, I think, so it should be a very quick read. It has won a lot of awards, like you can see. I don't really know much. I mean, we follow 12-year-old Caroline. She was born during a hurricane, which is supposed to be bad luck, and she has had her share of bad luck recently. But then this new student arrives, and Caroline starts to believe that her luck is about to turn around. And Kalinda, the new girl, soon turns out to be her best friend, and together the two girls must brave their own feelings of friendship and love while they seek to discover where Caroline's mother has disappeared, or risk losing her forever. So it definitely feels like there's going to be some nice friendship in this one, and some mystery since Caroline's mother disappears. So yeah, I'm really interested in reading this one, and hopefully it will be a quick read too, because that's what I'm looking for right now. Good morning, or dinner, or lunch. She's like 10 now, and I've slept horribly, so I'm tired as hell, which you can definitely see. So I've been awake since 8 after I finally passed out. But I did manage to read quite a bit of Hurricane Child by Kacey Callender yesterday. I'm on page 170, so I have, I think, 41 pages left, and we're now on day 5, and I haven't finished my third book yet, so it's going great, you guys, just great. But so far, I mean, it is a quick read since it's a middle grade. But sometimes I feel like the main character, Caroline, like she's supposed to be 12 years old, but sometimes I feel like she reads a little bit older. Like, I just feel like a 12-year-old doesn't really talk that way. And I don't know, I'm not loving any of the characters, to be honest. And that really bums me out. There seems to be some sort of supernatural kind of element, or so at least the girls in the story believes. So wasn't really expecting that. I'll give you my last like finishing thoughts after I finish this one. I think I'm gonna try to do it now because, well, it's 41 pages and it's day 5, so I should probably get to it, right? And we'll see which will be my next read. Definitely need to read something very quickly to catch up. So she's like 4 now. I've been busy like cleaning and taking out garbage and I don't even know what, so I haven't been reading that much today. But I did just finish Hurricane Child by Casey Callender, and I have to say I was a little bit bored. I mean, it's a really short read, and it was definitely, I was getting through it very quickly because I mean it's middle grade, it's not that much text and stuff like that. But I don't know, I didn't really love any of the characters, and I felt like everything was a little bit anticlimactic. Like it was building up to something, but then that something never arrived, and it was just, I don't know, I didn't enjoy it as much as I had hoped. And you know, it has won a lot of awards and stuff, and I don't know, I expected more, and I'm really sad that I've had this book on my shelf for so long and I finally read it and then I end up not enjoying it as much as I hoped. And I don't even really know what rating to give this, maybe like a weak 3 star or something like that. But yeah, I finished my 3rd book on the 5th day. And yeah, awesome. So as you probably saw from the previous clips, I've decided to pick up my next read. This will be my 4th book in 5 days, and this is Death Note, the Black Edition, Volume 6 by Tsugumi Oba and Takashi Obata, and this is bind up of volumes 11 and 12, so it's quite hefty. So there's 2 volumes in here, but this is like the last bind up of this series, and I'm a little scared. But basically in the first volume we follow Light Yagami, and he ends up finding this death note lying on the ground, and he realizes that if you write someone's name in the death note, that person will end up dying, and you can even specify how and when they will die. And you know, he also realizes that the world isn't as black and white as he originally thought. It's more of a gray area, because you know, who deserves to live and all that. And I'm scared of reading this because while I do really enjoy this series and I really like the characters and everything, I felt like the last few volumes have started to get a little bit more repetitive, and I'm a really bit scared to find out how they're going to continue on with it. Like, how many more ways can you do the same thing? So I don't know, I'm a little bit scared, but this will definitely be a quick read. Technically this is 2 volumes, so should I count it as 2 reads? I don't know, but I am going to start reading now, so. So I have officially finished my 4th read in day 6 and that is Death Note Black Edition Volume 6. So this is 2 volumes, so it's quite hefty, and I feel like there's a lot of thought bubbles. Without the bubbles, they just think a lot. Which makes this not a very quick manga to read, honestly, so I feel like I was slowed down by that. But yeah, now I've finished this series, and I have to say I was a little bit disappointed. I mean, I don't want to spoil anything, but I just feel like this series overall got a little bit repetitive, and just people trying to outsmart each other and shit going awry because of it, and then drama ensues. I do feel like the ending of, you know, the last volume, volume 12, was dramatic and interesting and stuff like that, but like the entirety of like volume 11 was just them talking, trying to outstage the other one, trying to make the one person confess something while the other one tried to make the other one confess something. Like, it was just a lot of talking, really. And I don't know, I was disappointed. So I ended up giving this book 3.5 out of 5 stars because I still like the overarching arc, and yeah, but unfortunately not a new favorite. As you saw in the previous clips, I went to the library and I wasn't planning on picking up any new books because I still have 2 unread. But of course that ended with me borrowing 7 more. So, whoopsie! I suck at this. Anyways, I love the library. They have actually a very good collection of books there. And I'm enjoying it. But one of the books I picked up was The Promised Neverland Volume 5 by Kai Shirai and Putsuka Demitsu. Sorry if I butchered that name. So this is actually a manga series that I started like 2 years ago. I don't know, it's been a while, and I'm really enjoying it. And this is volume 5, like I said, and I read volume 4 like a year ago, I want to say. It's been a while, so I don't really remember all the details, but I really do love this series. So basically it's about a bunch of kids being in this, I think, Gracefield house, and there's just, you know, orphans living there together with this sort of female character that they call the mom, and they think they live like a normal life. They're waiting to get adopted and stuff like that, but then they find out that maybe their lives are just a little bit more sinister and dark than that. And this one was no exception. I really enjoy the characters, even though it's been a while since I read about them, and it's action-packed, a lot of shit going on, and this is not a very long volume because only just the one. There's a lot of shit happening, and I don't want to spoil anything since this is not the first volume, but I really enjoyed it. I don't really know what rating to give it. Maybe like a 4, 4.5, I don't know. I will sit on that one, and I'll let you guys know in the wrap-up of this vlog, I guess. So yeah, finish another book. And I have started, I'm reading so much today, unfortunately just manga, but I've started my 6th book, and this is The Promised Neverland Volume 6. I have already read a little bit in it. I'm on page 122. This is such a quick manga. I'm flying through it. I'm very intrigued. Like, this one takes off right after Volume 5, which was definitely action-packed. This one starts with a lot of action, and now I feel like it's slowed down a little bit. But I feel like we're about to get some sort of answers to what's going on, maybe. And I just love the characters and like the plot twists. And now there's like 2 new characters introduced, and I just want to know who the frick are they. So yeah, I'm very intrigued. My goal is to finish this one today. And I feel like you could do it, because not like, I mean, I've only read this little bit, so I have like all of this left, but I feel like you could read it pretty quickly. So maybe I can even pick up my 7th book today. That would be great. But yeah, if I finish this one today, then I'll be on track. So yeah, that's my goal. Hi, so it's currently Wednesday, June 28th, running out of dates in this month, but last night before I went to bed, I managed to finish The Promised Neverland Volume 6. And I just knew that I had to throw myself straight into this novel, this volume, because the fifth one was so good. So this one ended up being a little bit confusing, not because of the manga itself, but at least this edition is misprinted, so some pages came twice, and then it kind of jumped back and forth in the story, which was, to say the least, a little bit confusing. But this is not as action-packed as the fifth one, even though it takes place right after that one. But there's definitely some like reveals and plot twists, and the ending was like, I want to pick up Volume 7 like right away, which I shouldn't, because I have so many library books to read and my never-ending TBR, but I do want to pick up Volume 7 sometime soon, so hopefully I will. But yeah, I'm really interested to see what's going to come, and definitely a little bit of a cliffhanger. But yeah, I still think I preferred Volume 5 over this one because it was more action and stuff. So I think I'm gonna give this volume 4 out of 5 stars, but it was still a really quick and entertaining read. So, very late last night on day 6, I picked up my 7th book, which is incredible, and I'm proud to say that this time it's not a manga, nor is it a very short middle grade book. So I'm very proud about that. But it's My Imaginary Mary by the Lady Janeys, who are Cynthia Han, Brody Ashton, and Jodie Meadows. This is the second book in the Mary series, I think they call it. And this one we follow Mary Shelley, the author who wrote Frankenstein. And we also meet Ada Lovelace, who is the daughter of Lord Byron, the poet. And she's very much into math and science, and she wants to build like mechanical things. And Mary Shelley and, or Mary Goodwin, as she's called at this point, ends up meeting and becoming friends and work together to create their dreams and stuff. Also, fighting the misogynistic bastard that keeps stealing Ada sort of inventions and stuff. I'm about 139 pages into this. I've read about 85 pages just this morning. I am loving it. I am flying through this. It's such a quick read. It's very entertaining. I love Ida's and Mary's growing friendship. There's definitely some drama going on. I love the science aspect of it. It's really cool and interesting, and I feel like you could definitely learn something from reading this book. I had just forgotten about it because I bought this book so long ago, but there's some fae aspect, and you guys know I don't like reading books about fae, but technically it says so on the cover. I just didn't read the cover again, and I had forgotten about it because I've had this book since it came out. So I'm not sure what to think about that, but so far the fae aspect has been somewhat interesting, a little bit cool, and it's added to the plot and the story. So maybe I'm not too mad about it, but yeah. This is almost 500 pages, so we'll see if I manage to finish it today. But I did read like 64 pages or something like that yesterday, and I feel like I spent barely any time reading it. So it's going great, you guys, and I'm loving this book a lot. So hopefully that will make me want to read a lot of it, but I do have a lot of things to try to get done today too, and I do have to go to the store to buy something to eat for lunch because we have nothing. Hi, so it is June 30th, but I just wanted to update you guys that I finished my Imaginary Mary by Cynthia Han, Brody Ashton, and Jody Meadows. This was like the first thick book that I tried to finish, and this was like 479 pages or something like that. And I have to say, I loved it. So I've already told you guys what it was about, but I just loved Mary Shelley's, or Mary Goodwin as she's called in the book. I loved her relationship with Ada and sort of the science aspect to everything, like they made and created together, and the Fae aspect that I was really unsure about because I usually don't like Fae. It definitely added something to the plot. It made it a little bit supernatural. It made everything move forward, so I didn't really mind it. It's actually kind of interesting sometimes. It was a lot of plot twists. There was some bad shit happening, which I don't want to spoil, but definitely very, very entertaining. It was such a quick read. I flew through this one, as I always do with their books, and I'm so sad that I have to wait until I think June or July or something next year before the next book comes out, called My Salty Mary? I don't know, I don't remember, but yeah, so it's like a year away, and I'm so sad about that because I love their books so much. And this is, I think, the 5th book I read from this trio, and I want more. But yeah, I ended up giving this book 4.5 out of 5 stars, so we're good. Trying to wrap up some books, so you know, before the month is over, because reading has been going great, both for this challenge but also for the month in general. But I woke up at like 3 a.m. Needed to go to the bathroom, couldn't fall asleep afterwards, gave up the hope of more sleep at 4 a.m. and then I read for like 3 hours. That was pretty good. And then I fell asleep at like 8 again and slept for an hour and a half. But I'm back. And so I ended up reading Beneath the Sugar Sky by Charlotte Maguire, which I had on my e-reader. This is a really short book, so it was a very quick read. All of these books are like this. But in this one we meet Cora, and she has been living in a world where she was a mermaid, and she's like the main character, the voice we get to follow. And I mean, I like the characters in this book because we get to follow Cora, like I said, but we also follow Nadia, who is sort of in a underwater drowned world as well. And then we follow Christopher, who were basically dancing around with a bunch of skeletons, which is a little bit morbid, but still. And then Kate, who was the Goblin Prince, who did not want to be in the world. So those are the characters we follow, but it's Cora's perspective we read from. And then we also meet Winnie, of course. I'm not gonna tell you about it because, you know, spoilers. But basically, I like the story. It was a quick read. We get to visit different types of worlds, and it was interesting. And I've always thought that it would be cool to live in a world made of sugar and, like, you know, candy and stuff. But I feel like I got a toothache just reading about it, so I think I'm good. Anyways, like I said, I enjoyed the stories, I liked the characters, and I liked blossoming friendship and everything like that. It was definitely a very fast-paced book, even though it was a bit of traveling involved. But what I could not get past was the fact that Cora is described, like, you don't get to know that much about her background, you don't get to know that much about her, like, personality or anything, but what you do get to know, and which the author constantly reminds you of every 2 chapters, is the fact that she's overweight, that she's been in the Weight Watchers, that she's an Overeater Anonymous, that she has more meat on her bones than the average person, that everybody looks at her and thinks she's a slow runner, that she doesn't want to be the first one to say that she's tired, because then people think it's only because she's fat. Like, the comments about her being fat just kept on coming, and it annoyed me beyond anything, and it was just way too much. Like, just stop it already. So that definitely dragged down the overall opinion I had of this book and the rating of it. So I think I'm going to, I haven't completely decided, so I guess I'll update you guys on the wrap of this vlog, but I'm considering maybe like a 3-star, which I think is somewhat close to what I've given the previous 2 books. I don't remember because I read those years ago. But yeah, I'm on track. Late last night I picked up If the Shoe Fits by Julie Murphy, and this is a plus-sized heroine. It's sort of a Cinderella retelling, and basically we follow Cindy, and she just finished university at Parsons in New York, and she loves shoes, and that's like her big passion in life. And her stepmother is this big producer for this TV show called Beyond Midnight, which is basically like The Bachelor. And someone drops out last minute. Cindy steps in to fill up the part, and stuff happens, and I'm enjoying this so freaking much. I'm not gonna talk too much about this one because I am reading it for a different vlog, but this is so good, you guys. I really I have like 80 pages left or something like that, and I'm flying through this. It's such a quick read. Love the characters, everything. So good. So the 9th and final book I ended up finishing for this reading vlog was If the Shoe Fits. So like I said in the previous clip, I really enjoyed this book. This was such a quick read. I love the characters' sort of humor and their banter, and I love the Beyond Midnight sort of bachelor experience plot. And it was such a quick read, and it was so cute and cozy, and there were definitely some road bumps in the way, and yeah, I enjoyed it so much. And I ended up giving this book 4.5 out of 5 stars. I ended up finishing 9 books for this reading vlog, but I ended up starting a 10th book, and that was Ghost Squad by Claribel A. Ortega, and I managed to get like 37 pages into this one, so I didn't get very far, but I do love a good supernatural ghost story. I love middle grade, so hopefully I will enjoy this one. I don't have like too many thoughts so far. I do like Sid and Lucy and their friendship. They're a little bit naive, but I mean, they're once again 12 years old, and also cats. Love that. So yeah, I don't have too many thoughts. So this is a book that will continue on over to my part 2 of this reading challenge, where I will definitely finish this one and give you more in-depth thoughts about what I thought about it. But yeah, those are all of the thoughts I have currently. It's been a few days, but I thought it was time to wrap up this reading vlog. This is part 1, like I said, so keep your eyes out for part 2. But for this 10 days that I tried to read 10 books, then I ended up reading 9 books, so a little bit behind as of right now, but we'll catch up in the next one. But yeah, what books did I read and what did I think about them? So the first one I picked up was a manga. There's been a lot of those in this series. But I read Spy Family Volume 1, and I really enjoyed this one. It was a quick read, beautiful illustrations, a really interesting and fun concept, and I could definitely see myself continue on with the series. I ended up giving this book 4.5 out of 5 stars. The second book I read was Amal Unbound, which was a really quick read. I liked the family dynamics. There was definitely some important subjects brought up in this novel. I did feel, however, that it wrapped up a little bit too quickly, which pulled down my overall rating of the book, unfortunately, but I did still end up giving this book 4 out of 5 stars. And then I read Hurricane Child, which was unfortunately not a new favorite. It's a really short book. I felt like it took forever to read. The main character, Caroline, and her friend Kalinda are supposed to be 12 years old. Most of the time, they came across as a lot older because of the way they were speaking, and it just threw me off a little bit. Also, the sort of plot didn't really intrigue me that much. So yeah, I felt like it was a lot of build up and it sort of ended up into nothing. So I only gave this book 3 out of 5 stars. And then the fourth book I ended up reading was Death Note Black Edition Volume 6. So this is the bind up of Volume 11 and 12. Volume 11 found kind of a little bit dragging on because 2 characters were just basically intriguing against each other, trying to outsmart the other one. Volume 12, the last novel of the last volume of this series, definitely got a better rating, I'd say, because it was more action. It wrapped up really good. It was somewhat dramatic, but yeah, overall the collected rating of this volume is 3.5 out of 5 stars. And then the fifth book I read was The Promised Neverland Volume 5. This is such a fun series. I am loving it. It's such a quick read, beautiful illustrations, just enough text for me to be interested, feeling like there's a plot, but not enough text to make you feel like it's a really slow read, you know, because they are really thin. But this was such a fun read. I love the characters, I love the action going on, because there's a lot of action, and all of the dark elements that I don't want to spoil. Really love that. So I ended up giving it 4.5 out of 5 stars. And then the next one I read was The Promised Neverland Volume 6. And this wasn't as action-packed as the previous volume, but it was definitely a little bit of a teeny tiny cliffhanger in the end. We had some questions answered, some new questions arrived, you know. It's a little bit back and forth, but overall I really enjoyed it. Ended up giving it 4 out of 5 stars. The chunker I read for this reading vlog at least was My Imaginary Mary, which was the 7th book I ended up reading for this challenge. I love the Lady Janie's books. This is the 5th book I read by them, and yeah, I mean, Mary Shelley and Ada Lovelace, I love their blossoming friendship. They were very smart. They had a lot of things going for them. They were not afraid to get what they wanted and how to do it, you know. There's a lot of character development. And, you know, misogynistic men that they try to outsmart, and it's just chef's kiss. So yeah, I ended up giving this book 4.5 out of 5 stars. And then the 8th book I read was Beneath the Sugar Sky, which is book 3 in the Wayward Children series. I don't know. I didn't love this one. Main character Cora, her entire personality was just the fact that she was fat. That was like all you get to know about her. We didn't get that many descriptions of her as a person, her personality, her background, her backstory. You didn't really get that much, except that she was a mermaid and had blue and green hair. It was just that she was fat, and everyone was aware of it, and that's like the only thing she thought people would comment on in no matter the circumstances, and it really drove me nuts. It was a bit much, so I ended up giving this book 3 out of 5 stars. And then the 9th and the very last book I read for this reading vlog was If the Shoe Fits, which was a really fun contemporary. This is sort of Cinderella inspired. There was just a little dash of Cinderella connections in there, not too much, because I don't usually like retellings too much, I've noticed. But I love the main character's chemistry. I love the Beyond Midnight sort of TV element that was very Bachelor-esque, and I love the fact that the main character was addicted to shoes and she wanted to design shoes. It was a interesting element added to it, and yeah, there was some really cool girls as well that was part of the TV show, and I like their sort of blossoming friendship that they evolved together. And yeah, I ended up giving this book 4.5 out of 5 stars. So yeah, those were all of the 9 books I read for this reading vlog. This reading vlog is probably 5 years long at this point. I'm sorry. But I do hope we see each other in the part 2 of this challenge. And yeah, I hope you guys have a good day or night, and I hope we see each other in the next one. Bye.